Of course, what we'd really like to do when we have these cold mornings is put the airplanes in this hangar and defrost them. That doesn't happen all the time. Now, if you know that you've got a flight, and this is, of course, after we move back over here, which will be sometime, I guess, after the 9th, as I understand it. If you know you have a flight the next day and it's an early flight and it's going to be frosty, the thing to do is coordinate, do it yourself, or call Sandy or get somebody to put the airplane in the hangar. Much better than heating it, as we all know. And if you don't get it done, you may, really, if there's enough frost on it or snow or anything, you're probably going to have to put it in the hangar anyway to get the ice off. Any of you had to do that before? I'm sure a bunch of you have. I know I have several times. And it's not fun. So if you get here the night before, that's the real solution. But if you come out here and it's cold, and our criteria is if it's below 40 degrees, you need to heat it, preheat the aircraft with this heater here. And if there's frost on the wings, obviously, I think we all know we don't take off with frost on the wings. So we have a sprayer over there. It's just a garden sprayer is all it is, but it's pretty effective. We have alcohol de-icing fluid. I imagine most of you have used one of those. We've got a brand new one. That one is missing the little thing on the end, but and we keep the fluid back here in big cans in that yellow cabinet back there.
All right, there's the de-icing fluid.
You ain't no Van of White.
No.
Tell you what, if there's ice on the wings, it works to a degree, but not to a real good degree, I'll tell you that, because you just about have to get it in there if there's ice or a lot of snow. But it'll take the frost off real effective. Now, it's kind of a greasy kind of thing, so keep it off the windshield and keep it off the places you're going to look at, because you won't like it if you do. So try to just keep it to the metal surfaces. Now, we normally have two of these around. I don't know where the other one is or if it's working just yet, but we really need to have one of these. And what it is, it's propane, and sometimes this propane tank runs out. This morning it had propane in it. We have a battery. And we have a trickle charger sticking out that window in that adjacent room over there that you'll find it plugged in to the charger here. So don't leave it unplugged, please, because the battery may be down to the next guy. So when you unplug it, go use it, bring it back, plug it back in. Now the starting procedure, it has a fan on it. We turn the fan on first, and then we turn on the gas. The fan comes on, the gas comes on, and then we ignite it with this igniter, sort of like I guess a grill or something like that. But when it's cool, before it warms up, and that's most of the time, you have to hold this thermocouple down. It's only 20 seconds, 30 seconds. You leave over there will go off. So let me demonstrate that. First of all, the blower comes on, then the gas comes on. Hold the thermocouple down. It's adjusted right to the light. Yeah, it's good. Getting warm here. You leave it run a little bit until such time as you know it's going to keep going on. Release the thermocouple. Okay. In the interest of talking, I'm going to shut it down, but I'll show you how to do it. Now, to shut it down, it's the opposite. You turn off the gas first, let it burn out. Put a handle on it. So to shut down, it's just the opposite. Fan comes on first to start it, then the gas, then light it. To shut it off, the gas comes off, let it burn out, and then turn it off. Now the actual heat, this is what we usually do. We put it in here, and 30 minutes is kind of ideal while you're doing the pre-flight. But whatever you do, don't start it and go leave the airplane. Don't start it and then go wherever we're filing flight plans. That could be kind of dangerous, and I don't think you want to burn up an airplane. Not that we've ever had any problem, but the potential's there. And we usually leave one of these in to contain the heat. 30 minutes should be warm to some degree. Any questions or comments about anything? Anybody have any experiences?
I have, flown in the winter for about 4 years, but what happened, remember 4 or 5 years ago, somebody did that, they left, and did they put it in the interior? And remember, it melted?
I don't remember that.
Who was here? Remember, it melted?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Well,
what had happened, it was longer than 4 or 5 years ago. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
What had happened was they took the preheater, they took the hose, and they set it inside the aircraft window, and they set it on the dash and left it. And when he came back, the dash, the windshield had basically like melted. So that's why I remember that.
Point is, it is hot. And then the other
It's hot
thing,
enough to melt it.
if you forget and you turn off the fan without turning off the flame, what happens? If you screw that up.
I've never screwed it up. I don't know what that
I've tried, I don't.
I tell you one thing, if you turn on the gas before you turn on the blower, you're gonna get a rude surprise when it lights.
Yes, yeah, there's enough. So the order of that, think about that a little before you do it. You know, you want to get the fan going, then the gas and light it, with the fan going. And then likewise, when you turn it off, don't just turn the fan off. You want to turn the gas off first. Like you did. I'm just saying, just
Good point.
when you're freezing to death out there and the wind's blowing and you're trying to light it can be very aggravating. I remember that you talked about the thermic. Are there any tricks with the thermic? When you hold that down and the igniter and it's not light, what can you do?
Well, what we don't want you to do is do a lot of adjusting on this. There's a gauge on the other one, but you may think, well, it's not hot enough, but please don't do that. The mechanics set it.
I've forgotten that. Okay, so
Yeah.
that adjustment right
Right.
there, what does that adjust?
It adjusts the amount of gas going in there.
In there, okay.
Makes it hotter.
So you shouldn't mess with that.
Yeah, that's right. It gets really hot, and it gets hot to the point, as you mentioned, it'll burn the plastics and so on. So do not direct it against the plastic. It's not for warming up the inside. I guess you can warm your hands on it, but it feels pretty good after being out here in free flight. Any other experiences or comments or
I just
questions?
want to ask about the tanks. We always have a couple of tanks inside.
Yeah, we usually have a spare tank. You see Sandy if it's getting low.
Okay.
Yeah, please let me know, like if you know it's getting low, just let me know. Because the thing is, we maintain all the propane tanks now down at outdoor rack because they have a special container for it, which we don't have here, so we can't have it on the premises. So just let me know, and you say, okay, move it a little slow, go a little light, I'll just pull another one down.
And please, when you're putting this thing away, be careful that you don't do any damage to it or don't drag it on the ground or what have you, because it's wear and tear. This is a scat tube from an aircraft, I guess, from what it looks like to me at least. All right, enough on that subject.